Good evening. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network presents the DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Tuesday, October 24th, 2017. Camera person is Daniel. Video engineer and producer and sound engineer is Edward. Teleprompter and prompter is Myra, with news anchor doing the Devin Hamilton show. This is news director, the coach of the Jets, but we do have a very special announcement. I was informed today, late today, that the Texas A&M Aggies are now in the coaches poll are ranked 24th. Now, this is coming by a very reliable source known as Kenny the Aggie Smith from Mancus. You want to make sure that the DCTV viewing world is now fully aware that the Aggies are ranked 25th, or is that 24? It's whatever it is. They're doing better than they had at the beginning of the season. So, with that, let's get on with the news.
Good afternoon and welcome to the DCTV 4-H Evening News and Weather Program. Help keep our kids' news show on air by becoming a sponsor. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. This story is the Cortez Journal. Crow Canyon welcomes Pervernian delegation on tour. Crow Canyon Agricultural Center cultural specialist Dan Simplicano joined with National Park Service and tribal officials last week to welcome the delegation of officials from Peru to Mesa Verde National Park to discuss cultural resources management in the Southwest. The delegation from Peru visited Mesa Verde on Thursday as the tour national parks historical sites across the U.S. to learn how science conducted inside the park informs the park's conservationist and tourism policies. Additionally, the group is studying the role played by descendants communities in studying and protecting cultural and natural resources with park boundaries, Crows Canyon said in a news release. Simplicio, a member of Zuni Pueblo in New Mexico, was joined by Peter Pino from New Mexico's Zia Pueblo to discuss the relationship between federal agencies like the National Park Service and the modern Pueblo communities, descended from the people who lived in the Mesa Verde region some 800 years ago. They also discussed the main difficult challenges and unique opportunities for growth in that relationship. Their Peruvian delegations met with officials in Washington, D.C. earlier this month and has since toured a variety local, state, and federal protected areas across the nation. The delegation will use what they have learned on their tour to inform their decisions regarding management of Peru's world-renowned culture sites like Machu Picchu and the Nazan Lions. The following story is from the Denver Post. El Dorado sled dog race is engulfed in doping scandal. Cycling, basketball, track, horse racing, now dog sledding has become the latest professional sport to be engulfed in a doping scandal. This one is involving the husky that dashed across a frozen landscape in Alaska, a grueling 1,000-mile Iditarod. The governing board of the world's most famous sled dog race disclosed Monday that 4 dogs belonging to Dallas CV tested positive for a banned substance, the Ichabod opiate painkiller tramadol after his second place finish last March. And was the first time since the Race Institute drug testing in 1944 that a test came back positive. CV strongly denied giving any banned substance to his dog, suggesting instead that someone may have sabotaged their food. With a race official said he would not be punished because they were unable to prove that he actually intentionally, that he means that he will keep his titles and his 59,000 in winnings this year. Damn. But in the finding was another blow to the Iditarod, which has seen the loss of major sponsors, numerous dogs' deaths, attack on competitors, and pressures from animals right activists who says huskies are run to death or left with severe infections and bloody paws. People for the ethical treatment of animals seizure on the scandal Tuesday. This story is from the Durango Herald. How volcanoes may have ended up a dynasty of Ptolemy and Cleopatra. A series of volcanic eruptions may have helped bring about the downfall of the last Egyptian dynasty 2,000 years ago. By suppressing the monsoons that swelled the Nile River each summer, triggered flooding that supported the region's agriculture. The eruption probably helped usher in an era of periodic revolts, researchers reported online October 17th in Nature's Communications. That upheaval ultimately doomed the dynasty that ruled Egypt's Ptolemaic kingdom for nearly 300 years until the death of Cleopatra. To piece together this puzzle, Yale University historian Joseph Manning and his colleagues first compared records of the Nile River heights dating back to AD of 622 with volcanic eruptions recorded in the ice cores of Greenland and Antarctica that date back to 2,500 years ago. Ash layers in the ice cores corresponding to the eruption years were linked to years of less extensive flooding they found. Then to see how eruptions would have affected precipitation in Ptolemaic Egypt, the researchers simulated how climate changed after 5 large 20th century eruptions. Each eruption ultimately reduced rainfall across the region of Africa that drained into the Nile. Powerful eruptions can wreak havoc on monsoons by shifting and weakening their intertropical convergence zone, a belt of low pressure near the equator that drives nearby precipitation patterns. Finally, Manning and colleagues pored over historical texts from Ptolemaic Egypt, comparing periods of unrest with volcanic records in the ice cores. Eruption coincided with the onset of many records revolts. Political instability, famine, and drought may have come to the head around 44 BC. When in Italy, mountains Enta erupted explosively, the Ptolemaic dynasty soon came to a close in 30 BC with Cleopatra's suicide. Now here are dumb laws. Dumb laws in California cities. In Simi Valley, remote control cars can only be driven in designated areas of the city parks. In Temecula, ducks have the right of way to cross Rancho California Street. In Walnut, ice cream men must obtain a license before selling any ice cream from their car. Kites may not be flown above 10 feet over the ground. Children may not wear a Halloween mask unless they got a special permit from the sheriff. Persons may not pick flowers from the city parks. One may not leave sand in their own driveway. And now for the weather with me, The current temperature is 67 degrees. The high today was 69 degrees. The low was 43 degrees. The wind has been between 1 and 10 miles per hour from the northeast. Gust has been up to 23 miles per hour. The barometer is at 30.23 inches and is falling. The humidity is 14%. There has been no hundredth of an inch of moisture measured today by the DC TV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0 hundredth of an inch. Moisture of the year is 7.90 inches. Now here's the big map. Okay. Pacific coast to the Atlantic with just a few scattered rain showers. Yeah. Minnesota with Wisconsin has a band of rain. Yeah, right there, Minnesota. Michigan, northern India, and a small corner of Ohio are rained on. Rained on. Yeah, it's over there. From New York through New Hampshire and Vermont, way over there, there's possibility of flash flooding. Of course. Wait, what? Oh, flash flooding warnings over here, people. Of course, southeastern Florida has also rain. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, and we'll scoot over. Wednesday, mostly sunny. Oh no, that's Thursday. Wednesday, mostly sunny. High of 66, low of 36. Thursday, sunny. High of 64, low of 35. Friday, mostly sunny. High of 63, low of 32. Saturday, mostly sunny. High of 56, low of 32. Sunday, high of 60, low of 33. Today is looking for a mostly sunny week. Now for our climate change report. Like scoot over here. This is going to be painful. CO2, carbon dioxide, is one of the principal causes for climate change. And it is important that we go report the CO2 weekly changes and CO2 trap heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instabilities, resulting in significant swings worldwide, moistures, and hot and cold climates temperatures. The following are CO2 numbers, parts per million. For week of October is 15th. This week is 403.97. Last week was 403.42. 1 year ago was 401.65. 10 years ago was 381.10. 50 years ago, 319.31. Thank you, Dr. Peter Tan of National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and Michael McGee for the CO2 Earth website for this information. Remember, you can help our kids show on the air by buying a sponsorship. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. Thank you. Now back to our news director.
That's the end of today's DCTV 4-H news program. And again, I would like to remind my viewing audience that this coming Saturday, the Texas A&M Aggies are going to play Auburn at Aggieland with 100,000 screaming fans, waving towels, and marching around with sabers in their hands. Okay, so now this is your news director, the coach of the Jets, saying good night and thank you for watching.